8.5 million people of New York City lies Plum Island, an animal research center which may house some of America's darkest secrets. And it all begins with a history reaching back to Nazi Germany. Unsealed case file. Operation Paperclip. Reims Island, Germany. Founded in 1910, it is the home of the world's oldest virological laboratory. And in World War II was the home base of SS bioweapons research led by Nazi scientist Erick Traub. Under Heinrich Himmler, Traub investigated and experimented in unique forms of biowarfare for Hitler's army, including fatal diseases carried by biting or stinging insects.
Traub discovered that with the use of an infectious disease, you could put that into a tick and use that as a weapon in warfare. If you were to do that, you can drop that on your enemy and never have to put your troops into harm's way.
Traub and his bioweapons failed to turn the tides for the Nazis in World War II. But after the war, Russia and the U.S. gave top Nazi scientists immunity from war crimes in exchange for their services. One such specialist, Erick Traub.
Erick Traub was picked up by the United States government under its program called Project Paperclip. This was a program in which various Nazi scientists were brought to the United States and put to use.
Based on the design of Reims Island, the U.S. begins work on their own lab off the coast of New York. The Plum Island Animal Disease Research Center is opened in 1954. U.S. officials feel so strongly about Traub's knowledge and know-how of this type of research, they even offer him a job as the director of Plum Island.
The one thing the Allies didn't want to happen was to have the Soviets get the jump on the Allies in infectious diseases. They smuggled Traub out of Berlin into the United States.
The Nazis were brutal torturers and killers. Many of them were prosecuted at Nuremberg after the war, but not Erick Traub.
1975. The small, quiet town of Old Lyme, Connecticut is home to 7,500 residents just east of the Connecticut River, and is ground zero for a frightening new affliction. An outbreak of fever, fainting, psychosis, delusional behavior, and paralysis. The infection is the first of its kind, and it's named after the town.
Lyme disease is a very devastating nerve disease.
But most unsettling is how the disease spreads, through ticks. And just 25 miles downwind from Old Lyme, Connecticut, across Long Island Sound, is Plum Island.
This is Erick Traub's calling card. Documents from the National Institute of Health show that Plum Island has experimented extensively with tick-borne diseases. Was this a case of Traub's infected ticks escaping the labs? Or even worse, was the spread of this disease intentional?
While accusing a government facility of experimenting with disease on its own people may sound treasonous, it is, in fact, deadly accurate.
In 1962, during the administration of John F. Kennedy, he initiated a project known as SHAD.
Project SHAD is an example of what the American military did to its own personnel in testing bioweapons. It was one of many, many experiments done on our own troops. To this very day, we never really know who died as a result of Project SHAD and who didn't.
American sailors stationed on Navy vessels are exposed to toxic nerve gas on 46 separate occasions.
They got sick. They died, nobody knew about it, and to this day, the records of Project SHAD are pretty much concealed.
But history shows that the U.S. military and government has tested these agents on humans without their knowledge. The Tuskegee experiments with syphilis prove beyond any shadow of a doubt they will do it. And it's proven, it's factual, it's documented.
But what about the experiments we don't know about? The ones that could be happening to any of us right now. coming up next. Biolab experiments on human beings might seem unthinkable until a body washes ashore. Plum Island. A very unusual body.
It was found by security guards there at the facility, and it was said to not fully be human.
And just because you don't live on the East Coast doesn't mean you're safe from an outbreak that's eating